Well done for joining in and actually doing night encounters. Why do we call it night encounters? Well, there's so much involved in this that it really came out of a heart of all the years I did children's ministry, and I saw all these families coming in that were so tired and worn out from not getting a night's sleep, kids jumping in and out of bed, nightmares, dreams, and all sorts of things. And I was kind of like, wow, God, you really do need to help us into the rest of the night season. So in this course, we're going to be looking at it from a couple of different ways. We're certainly going to tackle a couple of practical elements about bedtime routines. What do you do when your kid keeps jumping in and out of bed and not wanting to settle? Because that's really important for parents to get some peace and rest, and your kids. So we're going to talk about practical elements. We're going to talk about spiritual elements, about you as a parent and using your superpower and your spiritual authority over your home so that you can enter into this rest. We're also going to be talking about some really easy ways to empower your children how to deal with their nightmares themselves. And we'll share some stories about how kids have done this and had amazing encounters and amazing release of fears. Then we're going to move on to dreams. How do you actually help your children recognize when dreams are coming from God? How do you steward them? How do you go past saying, oh, it's just a dream, and actually valuing them because the Lord might be speaking to your children in the dreams? And then also on top of that, how do you actually help your children set their heart and affection on the Lord to encounter Him at night so that they can actually be at rest, but maybe they'll have an amazing time with the Lord in the night season? Because really this course is all about how to actually take the night season back under the Lordship of Jesus Christ and see all the fear and all the destruction of that gone. I hope you enjoy this course, and we look forward to hearing the testimonies about what God does in your family in the night season. I have 3 children myself, all very close in ages and stages, and also a working mum and a working husband as well. So we were pretty keen to get our kids in bed as well. I think you know what that's like. And so if the temptation is when you're a parent who's tired, got lots to do, want to get ready for the next day, is to kind of hurry the process of getting our kids into bed. And somehow kids know it. And they discern that. And the more we exert and the more anxious we get about getting them into bed is that we kind of end up with this resistance. So here's the first tip for you to avoid that. Why don't you find as many choices as possible you can give your children around the bedtime routine? It might be, do you want mum or dad to help you to get to bed? Do you want to put on your pink pajamas or your purple pajamas tonight? Are you going to skip to bed or walk to bed? Are you going to put your pajamas on before or after you watch your last TV show? And find as many choices so kids can actually think and get involved in it. And often when we give our children choices around this, it actually starts to break down resistance because we're not telling and commanding so much as we're giving them the power to make good decisions for themselves. So have a little fun about working out how you could give choices in your bedtime routine. There are some practical things about bedtime routines. One is, again, we can begin to act like a drill sergeant. So you want to create a routine and a predictability so that you don't always have to give out commands, reminders and instructions to children. So some parents do that by creating a visual chart. And that visual chart can be a prompt. So you can just say to the children, oh, do you want to go and check the chart and see what you've done? And of course they can tick it, stamp it, star it when they've done all the things that you like to do for the bedtime routine. And that takes away that resistance again and empowering your children for a peaceful, easy transition into bed. Keep the routine regular time, particularly through the week. Now in my house, we had a routine in our family that on school nights, being Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, our kids had a set routine and they had no TV. I know, a bit radical. They had no TV during their school nights because we wanted to create a focus that those nights were really important for their learning and health. And because we were away as a family, so separate so much of the day, we wanted to focus on being together, playing together, reading together, and being together. And that routine stayed in our house until the kids were in teenage stages. So the routine changed on weekends, Friday nights and Saturday nights in particular, where the kids were allowed to stay up for an extra bit of time, and that was a whole lot of fun for them to feel like it was different and it changed the rhythm and the routine. Well, here's another simple technique for parents to use in helping the routine go well. You might find yourself getting lots of requests and lots of excuses. Oh, can I just watch one more TV show? Can I get one more drink? Can I tell you this? Can I do that? Whew, lots of things that can happen at night time for children. But there's a wonderful thing called an enforceable statement. And an enforceable statement is what the adult can use, whether you're the carer, grandparent, parent, putting a child to bed, is actually stating what you will do and what you will allow. So rather than what you won't do or what you expect the child to do. So an example of this could be, I read bedtime stories to children who have done their teeth and are in bed. That's one idea. So what you're saying is what you do as the adult. I would love to tuck you in and pray with you. I'll be at your bed by 7:30. And so therefore you're telling the child what you will do. Or secondly, you might say something like, yeah, I'm available to help you get ready for bed up until about 7:30, and then it's mum and dad time. So you can look at the ways that you're actually talking to your children by enforceable statements about what you can do and what you can't do. They don't include threats, and they don't usually include commands to the children, but actually saying what you will or won't do. And of course it has to be something that you can and will follow through on as well. Make sure you have a big wind down time. There's a lot of research to show that kids need to be away from screens. That means their phones, their iPads, their computers, their TVs, for quite a period of time to help their brains and their bodies relax. So at least a 45-minute window if you can get it. 30 minutes is also good, but really encourage them to have that downtime. And of course, no screens in the room. A lot of research shows that not having screens in the room actually helps your children and their brains and their emotions to calm down and to settle and to sleep. So I would really encourage you not to, if you have teens, make sure that their charging station is outside of the bedroom and not inside, that phones up on the kitchen bench in a living room where they can be seen quite easily is a much safer and healthier practice for everyone. Now, what do you do when suddenly your kids aren't tired and they don't want to sleep? They keep getting out of bed, come and interrupting your peace and quiet, and just tends to escalate things and tension in the house, and certainly doesn't bring in peace. Well, here's a few tips that parents have tried, and you can try them too and see which might work for you. For a start, parents don't call it sleep time or time to go to sleep, because if you're a parent, you've probably worked out we can't make a baby sleep and we can't make a toddler or a teenager sleep. So we don't say it's sleep time, we say it's bedroom time or bedtime. And kids know that then there's no expectation we're going to try and make them sleep, but it is time for them to be in their bed or in their bedroom. The second tip that parents say is normally they can be in their bedroom or on their bed, so long as it's not a problem for anyone else in the house. Now, of course, if they start jumping up and down, they start smashing things, yelling and screaming, throwing tantrums, well, that's a problem. And so you're going to have to intervene on that situation. But they're happily in their room reading a book if that's what they want to do until they go to sleep, or whatever you allow. And if you do have to intervene because it's a problem and they're carrying on or coming out to interrupt you, some parents have tried this, that they simply say to their children, this is mum and dad time and we're resting and having time together, but it looks like you've got lots of energy, so let me help you use up your energy. And then the parents have already pre-planned this, of course, and they might have washing to fold in the laundry. They might have some dusting to do in another room. They might have sweeping to do, or they might have some rubbish to be taken out, or they might have a list of jobs to do so that the children can use up their energy, and that they know that then they can use up their energy and be ready for sleep and rest. So there's a few simple tips that some parents have used. You might like to have a go at trying some of those and see what works for you and your household.